So thank you everybody for joining this first Leapcast to gain an overview of Cisco UCS Manager. All the participants are on mute because I'm recording this webex, so you can download and view it later on. Any questions that you have as we go along, if you can pop them into the chat panel, and if I can answer them as we go, I'll try and pick them up then. If not, I'll pick them up toward the end of the session. Ideally, I want these to be short and sharp. I'm aiming for probably around about 20 minutes with perhaps about 10 minutes at the end for Q&A. I'll see there's just a few more people joining, and just let them get in and get into the audio bridge. Okay, I've just got a couple of slides here to, for those of you that are not that familiar with what the LEAP Center is. The LEAP Center, LEAP stands for Learn, Experience, Architect and Plan, and it's a facility that we've put together to allow us to work with our partners to help educate and spread the word around Cisco Data Center. Today we're going to have a look at UCS Manager. This is a slide of all the equipment that we have there. You'll see we've got some competitive vendor servers in there, so we're able to do mixed vendor demonstrations. We've got EMC and NetApp file storage there, Nexus 7000, Nexus 5000, and the UCS B series. Some of the demos that we have that are sort of available and on tap to show to customers and to the technical community out there. What we're going to do today is just have a quick overview of UCS Manager and at some of the capabilities and how we perform some basic configuration tasks within UCS Manager. Hopefully everyone can see my desktop, and that is our UCS Manager running in the LEAP Center, which is based in Brussels. You see it's organized nicely into these tabs here. We have this pane on the left-hand side where we can select particular tasks, and as we navigate down through that pane, the main window slides there. So first of all, we'll take a look at the admin tab, and we've got the option to filter, and we can here we're viewing all. We can choose to just select faults and alarms, and you'll see we do have a couple of alarms on the system. This is a demo system, so it's very fluid. There's a lot of things happening all the time, so I'm not too worried about the alarms that we have there. User management tab, so we've got full role-based access control within UCS Manager, and we have this set of roles that allows particular access to the areas within UCS Manager, and these tabs for the storage area network, the local area network, and server equipment. Those roles can then be applied to particular users, and I've got a couple of example users here. I've got a network admin role, and you can see here that he's only been permitted access to the network, whereas the server admin user has got access to the various server equipment, and the storage user has only got access to the storage role, thereby restricting the areas of UCS Manager that particular team member can go to. We can break that down further with the use of locales. Here I've got some locales set up for the various ComStore organizations around Europe, and Here I've got one organization that's tied to a particular section within UCS Manager. So that then effectively ties the workspace that the user associated to this locale can get to. So if we just take a look here at the associated user, you'll see this user, CUK admin, has access to network, server, and storage, but limited to this locale. If we take a look on, say, the server tab, we have these sub-organizations, and the CUK admin user would be restricted to working within this sub-organization within this context. It has read-only access to the entire system, so he'd be able to see everything else that's on the system, but would only have configuration rights to anything below this organization unit. We've got the capability, as well as having locally authenticated users, as we have here, we can back that off to LDAP, Radius, and TechAx servers. At the moment, I don't have anything configured here, but it's quite possible that we can configure an LDAP source and pass user authentication off to an external source. So if you've already got Radius or TechAx there with a user database, we can tie into that. The next tab is the VM tab. This is where we integrate into VMware. You may have come across or heard of the Nexus 1000V, which is a virtual distributed switch that sits within the VMware ESXi hypervisor. This tab would then give us visibility into that switch and the port groups configured there, and the virtual machines and their placement on the physical hosts, the physical VMware hosts. I do actually have a separate Leapcast scheduled in 2 weeks, and we'll be exploring this tab in great detail there, so I'll just leave that for now. The SAN tab, this is where we'll configure all elements of storage area networking. Those of you that are familiar with storage will be familiar with the concept of Fabric A and Fabric B. What we have here is two independent fabrics, a Fabric A and Fabric B. So we've got one of the 6100 fabric interconnects connected to a Cisco MDS 9148 switch. The other fabric interconnect is connected to another MDS 9148 switch, and they're physically isolated. There's a common management plane just for our ease of use, but they are physically isolated. So you'll see here we've got a couple of uplink ports that are connected into Fabric A and Fabric B. You'll see we've got the capability to do fiber channel port channeling, which is something that is new with version 1.4 of UCS Manager, which is what we're working with now. If we take a look further down, we've got the two fabrics where we can configure our vSANs. So at the moment, we've just got a couple of vSANs configured, vSAN 21 on the A fabric and vSAN 22 on the B fabric. Again, we have the structure of the organizations. This is common throughout all the configuration tabs. One area that we work within here for the Leap Center is EU Leap, and you'll see I've got some VHBA templates. So I've already pre-configured some host bus adapter templates for various types of machines. So here I've got one for ESX hosts on Fabric A. Here's ESX hosts on Fabric B, Windows and Linux. And to create these, we can just click on the plus button, and I'll just give it a name called Leapcast 1. We can give it a description, choose which fabric it belongs to, Fabric A. I'm going to select for now. We then should get a drop down of which vSAN I want that to belong to. select whether it's an initial template or an updating template. If it's an updating template, and I apply this template to a virtual service profile, and make a change to the template at a later date, the updates will be propagated to all the sort of child objects that have used this. Worldwide name pools, I'll select one out of my ESX pool. I'll select my QoS policy. I don't have any ping groups configured. Ping groups would be where we can assign a particular physical uplink path for the traffic to travel on. I'm going to choose OK now. That's going to go away, and that's there. It's created my HBA template. Worldwide node names and worldwide port name pools. As we've got a lot of users here, we had to come up with a naming convention. So we decided that what we do is categorize them by country code. So we've got a specific format that everyone that works within the Leap Center needs to create these worldwide node name and worldwide port name pools, which then, as you saw when we create the virtual HBA templates, are selected from here. For those of you that are not familiar with storage, worldwide node name, worldwide port names are very similar to MAC addresses in the Ethernet world. They're a layer 2 address that we use to identify end hosts.